Okay, so here's Ferguson T20 Project. We've gotten it running. The next order of business is to fix these rear tires and rims. The tires are in great shape. The rims have some rot and there's going to be some patching that needs to be done. So we're going to take off one of these tires today and get the tire off the rim and take a look at the rim and see what the rim needs to, see if we can save it as opposed to purchase another rim. So we managed to get only 2 of these off. So it's time to go get some heat to put it on these other bolts, see if we can get them off. Get that nut red hot. Get there. Get there. All right, let's see. Our nut is red. I don't know if we can see. Amazing. There's that one. So that's what heat does. I'll go around to the next one. And we don't need to film all these. So there's your rim off. Looks like we've got some thin spots around here, but again, that should be probably just patched on the outside as long as the inside's smooth, which is what my guess is. But the worst problem is, and I'll spin this around. Now for about $100, $125, I could just go buy myself a new rim. And then that would save some time, but in the interest of not spending any money and having some fun, it's nice to try and rebuild. As you can see what has happened here, this is a common problem with these tractor rims, why they are readily available for sale. The tube breaks here, and then of course the calcium chloride solution starts to leak in here and just rots it out from the inside. This looks like something I might be able to just take a patch. There's still enough of it here where I can get a pattern. So I'll try and patch it up. Next thing to do is get this tire off of here, because even though it's mush, it's still a good tire. We'll see what happens then. Alright, so we've gotten our tire off. We've got our one side off here, which was not fun. I'm going to pull the tube out. And we'll take the other side off. Alright, so I'm going to pull the tube out of here, and I have found that rather than trying to grab it with your fingers, this will never work, take a pair of vice grips. And if we ruin this tube, it's already ruined. I think that the bead on the other side interestingly enough, inside this tire there's lots of ice. A giant mess. So this tube rust will stick it to the back rim of the tire. You can not worry about that screwdriver. Where's your valve stem over there? there's tube. Rim is off. So here's what that looks like on the inside, and honestly, at this point, there's so much rust in this thing, and if you look inside there, you'll see a bunch of ice. I don't think it's worth messing with this rim, so we're going to order. You can see the amount of rust come out of the ground. Screw it, we're going to order another rim. So I'm going to salvage this tire, because really, the tire is a really nice tire. There's virtually no dry rot. Looks like it was brand new. And that's that. Okay, and there is rim off the tire. And that was quite the battle. Or tire off the rim. This is just kind of what was in there. Going back and forth in this thing, but I think that for the time, it's definitely savable. But the question then becomes, if I'm going to resell this tractor at some point, does spending an extra $100 on a new rim give the tractor an extra $100 worth of value? The answer is probably yes, because one of the problems with these older tractors is, of course, what we're seeing right here. So if that's one less thing to do for the next owner, then he's willing to pay a little more, he or she, hopefully. So I'm going to go get a rim and probably take this tire to the farm shop and have them mount it rather than just go through the battle that I just went through to get it off. And they'll probably charge me $20 and have a machine to do it. So, or even if it's 30 or 40, it's probably still worth it not to destroy that tire or pop a $44 tube. Alright, here's our other rim. The other rim we're going to save. The only part that's a problem is this valve stem area here. What we're going to do is I'm going to find a really nice spot in the other rim. I'm going to cut it up out a piece. It's going to patch in right here. We'll drill a hole right about there where the valve stem goes, and then we'll grind this all down and reuse this rim. Alright, so here's my template that's been cut out of here. Now I got to take this one over to this rim and see if there's a good spot anywhere that I can use. It's actually like that. So maybe I'll grind that down with a wire wheel and see if I can get some metal out of that. There's a good spot on the rim. We painted it. There's my template. There's Paul grinding away with the rim. Alright, so here's this patch in here. I can weld it all along there. And then here we can do some fine tuning. I took a little too much off there, so I'm going to stop and get this tacked in, and I'll just grind little bits until that's totally flush. But this whole area here is good. And that's good, so we'll weld that on there. Alright, so now we got a little hole there. There's our patch. Then we got a couple little holes here and here, so I'll just get some extra little metal, weld those in. Then we'll actually drill a hole right about there, I guess, and put our tube in. Maybe we can put the tube on there with a little bit of air in it and see where that thing wants to lay. And then, okay, well, alright, and of course magically here's tire on rim. You can see this is where the patch is from the other side, and I could clean that up, but I mean, really, what's the point? We drilled a fresh hole here, run our valve stem through there, and put that on here. Our tire isn't quite 100% seated. There's still bubbles coming out, but it's 30 something degrees, and we got 40 psi in there, and it should seat really at almost like 20. So we'll just drive it around like that, and we still have to get the other rim and put that other tire back on there. Just being as cold as it is, and even after grinding this rim off, there was still some scale on it, so it's harder for that bead to seat. So I'm not going to blow the tire off my face in the process. So the next shot will be getting the new rim and putting that tire back together. And voila. So now we have this tractor standing on its own feet. We've got our new rim over here. Nice new rim. You can actually grab it and roll this back and forth now. This was our old rim that we patched up. We've also replaced, got our new exhaust on there, and the voltage regulator has been replaced. So we're getting there. We've got to get that throttle unstuck and obviously clean it. Got to do some welding in the front on the grill. That's rusted away down there at the bottom. We can take care of that. Oops, looks like somebody's put some Bondo on here at some point. But we'll get that, but we're getting there. I mean, we got a nice rolling tractor, and as soon as we get that freed up, I mean, we already know it runs, so we'll get that freed up and make a nice video of it driving next.